I was gutted. It was, I don't know, it's a big part of your life, wasn't it? Because going there, my father went there, I went there, and to the local community, it was a big loss.
Yes.
Because it was done over quite a lot of time, and because we'd already had the joining, as it were, for some of the things, and the way it was handled, because I was a governor at the time, still a governor at the time, and also as a member of staff, we were able to come down and have a look at the place being built. We were shown plans about it. We were involved in processes. We were able to put forward ideas about what we thought the building should be like. So we had a massive part in how it was being built. And because of that, I think we felt quite involved with this new building before it came. Obviously some people left when Parkfield closed, but I think a lot of people would have left anyway. And there was some, because of the fact that some of the roles were duplicated, because there was the people on both sides who held the same roles, and therefore there were some people whose jobs perhaps didn't exist anymore. So there was a loss of staff in that respect. And some people, and remember this is going back now 12 years, so it wasn't as obvious, it didn't know. Some people didn't want to work in an academy chain, so that they took the opportunity, because there were a lot more schools that were still local authority schools at that time, to stay and go to a local authority. But generally speaking, people viewed it, I think, very positively. They knew that this had got to happen, that the school had got to be amalgamated, that we couldn't keep on having a split site school. We moved as a school and not as individuals, so we all became part of it. I think it was accepted quite well, and plus, of course, it's still a really lovely school. It hasn't, you know, I mean, there's nothing really different about it, although some of the rooms have had to be used as classrooms because the numbers of people were low, numbers of students were lower at the beginning than they are now. It's an anticipation of, well, it's something new, and we're on the ground floor with it.
I think there's always an element of sadness, and why us, and why do we have to move down there, when certainly kind of Wolverhampton Road East, what was Parkfields, have been there such a long time. But inevitably, it's like most things, there is change, and it's about then really exciting, selling that kind of project to students. You know, what we were really thankful for is a chance with Carillion and students to help design the school, so that the transition process was as smooth as it could be.
Mini college, that's how I see this, is like a mini college area where you use, because most colleges now are all one block, aren't they?
The Bilston site was a little bit like, it's part of history. My dad came here, you know, when it was the old Stonefield. I'm going back many moons ago. My dad would have been in his 90s now, kind of thing. He came here. Also, living in Bilston, growing up in Bilston, it was also part of the your local area. It was always sort of the school by the fire station, you know. And it was sad to see the building go. You know, I mean, I know it was decrepit, it was old and everything, but it was part of the local area, the same as like Sankey's was, you know. It's what you grew up with.
Did you come to the school at all?
No, I went to Moseley Park. Yeah, we saw it being built. So when we were at Bilston site, we used to look out the back of the kitchen door and you could see it literally being built. And even like, as daft as it sounds, like the car park, the pathway to the car park, we was like, oh gosh, that must be the car park. You know what I mean? And then like somebody come along and said, you do realise the kitchen is a mile away from the dining room? We was like, nah, don't be daft. But we call that the Golden Mile now, up and down with the trolleys. So yeah, you know, it's nice to have sort of seen it progress.
I think it was mixed. I think a lot of Parkfields didn't want to come here. And then the ones that was already based here, it was going to be a lovely new school, so they did want to come back here. So I think there was mixed feelings with it, really. A lot of people wanted to, and then you had the ones where we're Parkfields, we're not Bilston. And then, but once it opened, I think it was quite good. It was quite sad, especially because my dad had gone there before as well, so it was quite sad. I did have a final walk round it when we knew it was going, and you've got separate playgrounds, boys and girls, when I went as well. And there was a wall across with boys right across the top, so you were split up break times and lunch times.
Well, to be quite honest, when I was in the fire service, being next door and being in and around this area, I knew that the school was being attacked by arsonists and stuff like that. So I was in and out of this school anyway when it was unoccupied, because it went unoccupied for a while as well. And the kids was burning it down, getting into school and burning it down, setting fires and really wrecking what was already within the premises. Again, if it was demolished for that reason, and obviously they put a new school in place. And again, being in the fire service and in fire safety, because I was a fire safety officer as well, the plans of the new build of this building came across the table, and so we had ensured that there was the proper fire safety measures in place to protect the building from if there was ever a fire.